Is getting set to make the start for the Tigers on a cool, overcast day. The sun is doing its best to peek through this afternoon as the Tigers take on the A's today. If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this contest, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Well, as far as the weather is concerned here this afternoon, it was raining this morning. The tarp is off the field. It's in great playing shape. It is 54 degrees, though, so it's a little bit chilly, and we are hoping the temperatures will be rising here this afternoon throughout the day. Bob Melvin has watched his team get slowed down quite a bit in this series. They have dropped the first 2 games in the series, and his starting lineup is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Stephen Drew leading it off. He'll play short, followed by Josh Reddick in center. Yoenis Cespedes, the DH, and then Brandon Moss will clean up. Chris Carter gets the call at first today, followed by Seth Smith, Donaldson, Gutierrez, and Pennington are your bottom 3 today for the Athletics. Anibal Sanchez is presented by Soaring Eagle Casino.
Sanchez was simply on point 5 days ago. He had a real good fastball. It was about 95. It was firm, and he was locating it inside and outside at the knees. The breaking ball was sharp, and the changeup was fading down and away from the left-handed batters. Love to see that guy this afternoon. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment behind Sanchez this afternoon. It is Dirks, it is Jackson, it is Garcia. In the outfield, the same trio that started last night. As a matter of fact, the infield is the same as well, with Gerald Laird behind the dish.
And so Alex Avila takes another day off. He should be back in the lineup tomorrow night for the Tigers as we scope out the standings in the Central. Good night last night for Detroit as they gain a game on Chicago. And it's tightening up now. Just 2 games separate the White Sox and your Tigers. Stephen Drew is about to set to lead things off here. It'll be Drew and then Reddick and then Cespedes facing Anibal Sanchez. Tigers check in 79 and 69 as Drew digs into the batter's box. In search of the sweep are the Tigers this afternoon. That would be a great start to this 10-game homestand. Drew batting .226, couple of hits in the series. The first pitch of the ball game is a strike called on Drew. 2 out of 9, in fact, with an RBI. He has also punched out 4 times. Here's the 0-1. Tipped into the glove for strike 2.
That is something that this Oakland Athletics team will do a lot of. They will strike out quite a bit. They lead the majors in strikeouts as a club.
We'll see if Sanchez can exploit that today. Here's the 0-2 offering, and it's low, ball 1.
.1,252 strikeouts.
And there is strike 3. Add 1 to the total. Stephen Drew didn't like it. Having a little chat with Gary Darling.
And that is something the Oakland Athletic hitters have done a lot of in the series. They have beefed with the home plate umpires, but once Stephen Drew goes back and takes a look at that pitch, he'll realize that's a strike.
We'll bring up Josh Reddick batting in the 2 slot in this one here today, playing out in center field. Reddick was hitting 3rd last night. He has scored a couple of runs in the series. The Athletics had plenty of scoring chances early last night as they got Verlander's pitch count up, but they just couldn't cash in.
Well, that's what you have to do to #1 starters like Justin Verlander. You have to try to get them early, because if you don't get them early, you're not going to get them at all. And Verlander didn't give up anything last night.
No balls and 2 strikes on Josh Reddick. 29 long balls this year. And he pops this one in the air to shallow left field. Andy Dirks coming in. 2 up, 2 down.
Already a couple of really good breaking balls by Sanchez in the game. The one to strike out Drew. And then that one right there at the bottom of the zone. I don't know how Reddick even got bat on that ball. It nearly bounced.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes. He's had a pretty good series, 3 for 6 with an RBI.
He loves that first pitch. We've only seen him a couple of days, but just about every single first pitch, if it's in the zone, he's getting a pretty good whack at it.
Sanchez waiting patiently. And Cespedes takes ball 1. He couldn't swing at that one. 19 home runs in his rookie season here in the major leagues. He's knocked in 72. Ball inside. 2 balls, no strikes on Yoenis Cespedes. That's pulled on the ground slowly toward third. Easy play for Cabrera. Slings it across the diamond. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sanchez. We go to the bottom of the first. Austin Jackson will get a kick started for Detroit.
Starting pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, presented by Fox Toyota of Rochester Hills. That would be Tommy Milone, who back in May had a really good start against the Tigers. He didn't overpower them with fastballs, not at all, but he had a really good changeup. He had a really good breaking ball, and he kept them off balance the entire day. So they'll be looking for more of that today from Tommy Milone.
28 starts, 1 complete game this year for Milone. Opponents batting .268 against him. And his walks, well, he didn't walk too many. That's just the best way to put it. His walk to, or strikeout to walk ratio has been very good this year. First pitch is in for a strike on Austin Jackson.
When you're not overpowering, your fastball very seldom gets above 90 miles an hour. You need to locate, and Milone, as you pointed out, can locate.
Jackson rolls that one foul. Make it 0-2. Sunshine all morning has desperately been trying to peek through the clouds. We're getting a little bit of sun right now. And a chilly afternoon here in the Motor City, 54 degrees. And he missed inside, 1-2.
That is something that Milone will do with 2 strikes, about 88 miles an hour. He will crowd the left-handers and the right-handers inside with fastballs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. A pretty good series for Jackson. He was on base 5 times in the first 2 games. The 2-2. Down he goes. A swing and a miss. Here's the rest of the Tigers lineup here this afternoon, presented by Big Boy. You saw Jackson, and Fonte and Cabrera will follow. Prince at first base. Delman Young, the DH. Then you got Peralta, Garcia, Dirks, and Gerald Laird rounding out the Tigers' starting 9 today. Here is Omar Infante batting .250. Milone slings one high, 1 ball and no strikes. Omar is 1 for 8 in the series, but 3 RBIs. Had a big double in last night's game. Looks at ball 2. Really perhaps the key hit. It got the Tigers on the board early with 2 runs. And Milone missing outside, 3-0. Tommy Milone is out of Saugus, California. He is 6 feet 205. He'll have to deal with Cabrera next. That's in for a strike. 3-1.
Here's that big knock you were speaking of. It was the third inning, and it was a couple of runners on. That was Dirks and that was Laird.
That'll get back out of play. 3-2.
And Fonte drove them both in.
So Omar with 18 RBIs. He would go on to knock in another run in the 8th inning with a ground ball. Lifted toward right field, slicing toward the corner. Into the seats it goes. Fonte still hitting only 186 in his last 21, so he's trying to get the bat going for the stretch run. 3-2 pitch. Line drive to left center. That's going to get down, maybe extra bases. Let's see. He'll take the turn. He's going for 2. Reddick's throw. Not in time. A double. He hustled into a 2-base hit there.
Reddick in center field was shading Omar Infante toward right center field. You can see where he's at the top of the screen. And then Omar goes down the bottom of the zone, hits one in left center. And by the time Reddick gets over there, Omar Infante sliding in with a double. Oakland Athletics have a base open with one out here in the very first inning, which means Cabrera has to make sure that Malone comes in the strike zone. You don't want to chase anything.
Ball 1.
Be very surprised if Bob Melvin gives Miggy anything to hit anyway.
Surprised he's not just walking him intentionally.
Well, sometimes the manager may not want to have his pitcher just simply lob the baseball up there this early in the game. Prefer just to pitch around him using your natural motion.
There's a bluff to second base. Fontaine was leaning a little bit, but Malone couldn't get rid of it. Here's the telling stat in this series, because the A's have had their scoring chances, but they are 4 for 18 with men in scoring position. And the Tigers, meanwhile, 7 for 18.
Some outstanding pitching by the Tigers.
Cabrera takes a hack at that one and fouls it back.
A couple of days ago, it was Max Scherzer who started, but Max had to leave, and then a quartet of relievers came in and really slowed down the Oakland batters. And of course, yesterday it was Verlander, Dotel, Benoit, and Valverde.
Tigers still not sure if Scherzer will make his next start. He said he felt a little bit better yesterday, but we'll have to make that determination as we get closer. And the 1-1. A little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cabrera's hit safely in 9 straight. He's had 7 RBIs in the series. He's hit 3 home runs. They've not been able to really get him out. And now 130 driven in for the year.
Here's his body of work overall against Oakland since 2009. 31 games, 35 RBIs.
And he's almost hitting 400. So they continue to chat about how they want to deal with this at bat. 2-1 is the count on Miguel Cabrera. As they talk it over, we tell you this game is available in high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast. Here's the 2-1. Popped up. That'll get back into the seats down the first base line. 2-2 on Cabrera. Well, the month of September is where Cabrera is really starting to shine. Of course, he has all year long, but down the stretch, 371 this month. 21 RBIs in just 17 games. When his ball club has needed him the most, he has really produced, and so is that guy on deck all season long, Prince Fielder, who also has 100 RBIs. Inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Miguel Cabrera has nearly accounted for 40% of the Tigers' run production in the month of September. He is literally put some guys on his back and carried them.
His shoulders are broad enough. 3-2 the count. And he takes ball 4, so Cabrera gets the walk.
While we have a moment, let's set the Oakland Athletics defensive alignment for you. They've got Smith in left. He was a DH last night. Reddick is in center field. Moss in right. Donaldson, Drew, Pennington, and Carter in the infield. And Kataris is back behind the plate. He caught a couple of days ago.
Here is Fielder now with 2 men on and only 1 out. Early trouble for Malone. And he misses outside 1-0.
Prince has not been bad this year overall against left-handed pitching. 4 homers against left-handers, but he's driven in quite a few runs against southpaws.
And even 100 RBIs overall this season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And again he stays away, and again Prince lays off 2-0, and the problem is becoming bigger now for Malone.
With the stakes being so high for Oakland trying to get to the postseason, Prince knows every time Oakland brings a left-hander in, they're not going to pitch to Miguel, so he gets himself ready to drive in runs.
Swing and a miss. 2-1.
A 2-0 fastball located pretty nicely by Malone. Might have been a hair off the plate outside, but that's what the true run producers do. They'll expand the strike zone just a hair to drive in a big run.
Missed it away again. Now the count goes to 3-1 with Delman Young waiting on deck. Malone's strikeout to walk ratio nearly 4-1 this year. But guys like Cabrera and Fielder will force you to tippy-toe around an at-bat, which is what Malone appears to be doing here. 3-1. And Prince takes ball 4. That's going to load the bases. Second walk in the inning as we check out the wild card standing. You see the importance for the Oakland Athletics as they try and make the playoffs this year. The Angels 3.5 out. Tigers right now are just concerned with the Central Division title. Wild card really not much of a factor with them, with the season winding down and 5 games out of the wild card.
And Tommy Malone came into this game having had 3 starts already in the month of September, and he had walked a grand total of 2 in about 15 innings. He's already walked 2 batters here in the first inning.
One for 8 in the series for Delman Young, but an early shot to drive in some runs. And he hits a ground ball to short. This looks like a double play. 6-4-3, and Malone on 1 pitch gets the double play to end the inning.
very careful with Prince Fielder, so he walked the bases loaded. He came back with a changeup at 82. Delman, no doubt, looking for a fastball. If he could do it all over again, he would not swing at this pitch, or he would let it travel a little bit more and try to go the opposite way with it. He did not, and the Tigers hit into their 145th double play of the season.
Yikes. And that one came at the most inopportune time with the bases full. Sanchez back to work, throws a strike to lead things off to Brandon Moss here in the second. It'll be Moss, Carter, Smith. Bouncing ball foul, first base side, 0-2. Sanchez had himself a 1-2-3 first inning. Moss, a pretty good series, 3 out of 8. He has knocked in a run. And when you count his time at AAA in Sacramento this year and the big leagues, you total up his home run numbers, and he's hit 33 home runs this season, 18 in the big leagues. Which, by the way, is more than he had his entire career in the major leagues coming into the season. And he has just been punched out.
Ooh, he spotted that 92-mile-per-hour fastball on the black at 92.
That. Second strikeout for Sanchez. Here's Chris Carter. He's getting the start at first base, 0 for 3 in the series, and he looks at a strike.
Carter's got some pop in that bat. Only 48 hits this season at the major league level. 14 of those are homers.
Most of his damage to this point has come in the minor leagues. In fact, Carter hit 39 homers one year in A-ball.
That's real power.
The 0-2. Slap foul, back out of play. Sanchez has been ahead of just about everybody so far. He picked up a strikeout in the first, and now a strikeout here in the second. And another foul, back out of play.
Carter will chase if Sanchez, they get something up in the zone at about 92, 93. He could get another swing and miss.
The 0-2. Checked it, and he went around. Strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts now for Anibal.
Sanchez is looking as good here so far this afternoon as he did 5 days ago in that afternoon tilt in Cleveland. On that particular day, he took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Very difficult to see at Progressive Field in Cleveland, and he exploited that advantage that he had.
Didn't walk anybody, struck out 7 in that game. He would eventually give up 2 runs before departing.
He'll be interesting after the season's over. He's got good stuff. He's a free agent.
Swing and a miss. 1-1.
There are a lot of teams that will be looking to add some depth to their starting rotation, and I'm sure they will give some consideration to Sanchez.
Strike call. 1-2. He is dealing right now.
Take a peek at his last 5. He had the one hiccup there in Kansas City, and that was in August.
Tried to dot the outside part of the plate, couldn't do it. 2-2 the count. Sanchez coming over along with Infante in the Jacob Turner deal, and he held off 3-2.
He's thrown a total of 24 pitches and only 6 have missed the strike zone. So the command is there today.
Ground ball slowly toward the right side. Prince will wait for it. Tag the bag for the out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Anibal. 6 up, 6 down against the Tigers righty. Strength and stability since 1849. Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And by General Mills Cereal, Big G Cereals, a healthy start to your day. Still no score as we go to the bottom of inning number 2 here at the ballpark. The Tigers and the Oakland Athletics wrapping up this series. Jacketed crowd here this afternoon. First pitch is skied in the air, foul down the right field line off the bat of Johnny Peralta. He'll be followed by Garcia, then Dirks. Tigers loaded the bases with 1 out, but Malone pitched out of that jam in the first inning. Johnny's homer in the series has a couple of RBIs. And the 0-1. Missed inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Malone was acquired from the Nationals in the Gio Gonzalez deal. Pulled into left field, base hit. Peralta has a leadoff single.
The youngster Garcia started the season in A-ball. He went to Double-A, and then the Tigers called him up on August 31st, and he has provided some energy. I mean, this guy drives the ball the opposite way. He's got some speed. He gets infield singles. He has done a really nice job since being called up, and Jim Leland has said when they do see a left-handed pitcher, a left-handed starter, Garcia is going to get some starts, and he's gotten some starts the last couple of days.
Batting .320 in the major leagues so far. And he looks at strike 1, 0-1.
Does everything like Miguel Cabrera, even standing in the batter's box. He kind of patterns himself after the superstar.
2 for 5 in the series. He's come around to score a couple of runs. The 0-1. Instead, he'll go back to first. Garcia this year, the Tigers minor league player of the year. He hit .299 between 2 stops, A-ball and Double-A.
He appears to be very comfortable at the major league level. I think Cabrera has contributed to that acclamation.
Popped up foul, back out of play.
Now here's the 2 guys side by side. We talked about their swings, the fact that Cabrera drives the ball to right field with regularity. Garcia tries to do the same thing, and his biggest supporter is Miguel Cabrera.
A lot of similarities. Now the 0-2. Rolled foul. Well, he hit 14 home runs in the minor leagues. And Garcia, I guess, would project as a kid as he gets bigger, stronger, and more acclimated to big league pitching as a guy that can hit some home runs in this league. We know he can run. Good throwing arm. Good set of skills. Way high, wouldn't chase. 1-2 the count.
His power hasn't showed up at this level yet. Not even in batting practice. I've watched him take BP just about every single day, and very seldom does he hit the ball out of the yard. Instead, every single swing early during batting practice, he is simply working up the middle and working the opposite way.
Here's the 1-2, and it's shot toward right field again, a base hit. He just keeps going the other way, and Garcia has himself another hit.
Practice makes perfect. Now, there's no doubt he could hit balls into the seat in BP if he wanted to, but this is the swing that he takes for about the first 10. Not necessarily off balance, but he is looking to go the other way. And even though your body's out front, if you keep your hands back, you still have a chance of barreling up the baseball and putting it in play with some authority, and that's exactly what Garcia did.
4 hits to right field this year, 2 to center. 6 of the 9 have gone either up the middle or the other way. Here's Dirks with nobody out.
The bunt might be in order here.
And he dropped one down, which was the beginning of the undoing last night for Brett Anderson. He is showing sacrifice this time, lays it to third. They'll throw him out, advance the runners. Peralta to third, Garcia to second.
Dirks laid down a bunt last night against Anderson. Brett, who fell off to the third base side of the pitching rubber. They exploited that weakness. He and both Laird did. And, of course, Infante came up with that big blow. And that was in the third inning, and that was really all the Tigers needed. And Jim Leland tired of watching his squad hitting the double play, so he simply gave Dirks the sacrifice bunt that time.
Now Gerald Laird, who has had a really good series, 5 for 7. It was a big night in the Laird household last night. Gerald was saying before the game today that his dad was watching, switching back and forth between the Tigers game and the Houston game, where Gerald's brother Brandon plays for the Astros. Brandon had a 2-hit night, and Gerald had a 2-hit night. Here's the 1-0. Low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, that had to make G Money Sr. awfully proud.
G Money Sr. did indeed have a really fun time watching baseball last night.
That's all right. And Gerald Laird needs to understand that Malone's not going to try to get him out in. He's going to try to get him out with something soft away. And Gerald needs to make sure that he keeps the ball and gets something he can drive into the outfield. Well, there was that changeup down and away to Gerald Laird. That's how Malone pitches.
Two and one. Tigers had a chance in the first, now a chance here in the second. Soft line drive, base hit. That'll get a run in. Peralta scores. Garcia stops at third, and Gerald Laird continues to have a huge series.
Wally Pitt.
Gerald gets his 8th RBI.
He got something in. He just kind of fought it off. It was not off the barrel. It was off the label, but he was strong enough to hit it into the outfield, and no play here. Both hands go up immediately by Gene Lamont. Alex Avila was joking today in the clubhouse when he was talking to the media about the fact that he has been cleared to play. All the doctors have cleared him. He's good to go now. And someone asked him, do you have a message for Gerald Laird, and what do you think about what Laird has been doing in your absence? And he said, in a very joking way, enjoy your last day of playing.
Oh, nice.
He dropped that on him. He said, you tell G Money to enjoy it while he can. That's why I threw out that little Wally Pipp thing there.
Alex will be in the lineup, we assume, tomorrow when the Twins come to town against the righty Samuel Doduno.
Good to see him smiling. He must be feeling a whole lot better.
Here's Jackson. Still only 1 out, 1 run in. Driven in the air to left field. Smith is moving back. Runner is tagging. Garcia will come in to score, and Laird is held at first base. Sac fly RBI for Austin Jackson.
All this was created by the sacrifice bunt of Andy Dirks. You get Laird up there in a situation with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. He's been hot. He does his job, and then Jackson simply does his job as well.
That'll bring up Infante. 2 runs on 4 Tigers hits. And Malone missing low and in. When Malone faced the Tigers back in May in Oakland, he went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs. Struck out 6 in that game. Different story early on here this afternoon. Bouncing in.
He's already pitched in a lot of traffic today. Tigers had the bases loaded in the first inning, if you're just joining us, and hit into a double play. And he got out of that jam. He's already thrown 40 pitches, and the Tigers, for the most part, have been patient. They're forcing Malone into getting the ball into the strike zone.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Infante had a double, did not score back in the first. Missed again, 3-1. Malone, when he was in the minors with the Nationals, dominated in the minor leagues. He was 37-22 with an ERA just a little bit over 3. And then finally got a big league call up last year. And he walked him. So another uncharacteristic walk. It's his 3rd of the game so far. Well, we mentioned the A's came into this series having pitched just about as well as anybody in the American League, but the Tigers have planted 20 runs on them.
Detroit does their best work right here at Comerica Park, and they really have done very well here since Independence Day. They've averaged about 4 or 5 runs a game here at Comerica Park since July 4th.
And this is an Oakland team that this year has played pretty well on the road, 40-33. Cabrera had a base on balls his first time up. And he skies this one in the air to shallow right center field. Moss coming in to make the play, and the inning is over. Tigers, though, score a pair. You're watching Tigers baseball today, presented by Bell Tire.
Sanchez is 6 outs so far here today. He has 3 strikeouts. He's spotting his fastball in and out. He's also climbing the ladder with the fastball. He's got a really good breaking ball and changeup. And really, the Oakland Athletic hitters in the first couple of innings have not really gotten any good swings against Sanchez.
And that's the result, 6 up, 6 down, and they've got the bottom 3 coming up here in the 3rd. Donaldson, Kataris, and Pennington. 2 runs, 4 hits for Detroit, and the first pitch is high to Josh Donaldson. One for 6 in the series, and he looks at a strike, 1-1. Donaldson called up mid-August from their Sacramento team, and since coming up is hitting .303 in the major leagues. He drives one to left center field. That's a base hit. He'll get down, and the first hit of the ball game for the Athletics. And while we have a chance, to the studio we go for a game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks very much. So we're going to have to wait to see what Chicago does later on this evening in KC.
Might tune in and watch a little bit of that game tonight.
Here's George Kataris. 2 out of 4 in the series with a double. Wave and a miss, 1-1.
get my Kansas City Royals hat out of the closet.
Got a jersey in there too?
Put it on. My Billy Butler jersey.
Big country. Or what do they call? Country breakfast.
Yeah, country breakfast. He can hit, I know that much.
1-1 is rolled foul. 1-2.
If you missed this, this is how the Royals won the game. Alex Gordon in the batter's box. There's runners on first and third, and Diane Viciedo in left field could not make the play. Couple of runs scored, and that ended up being the difference in that game.
Little pop-up foul back out of play. Well, we know the Royals can be tough, and certainly the Tigers know that, and they will appear on the schedule later in this homestand, and of course on the last road trip as well. So the Tigers going to have to deal with KC.
And Ned Yost always has that team playing real good down the stretch.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff single here by Donaldson, the first hit of the game for the Athletics. And that bounces in. Count fills now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers picked up 2 in the bottom of the second, and the A's trying to answer here in the third. Runner goes, and it's a strike call. Throw down to second. He's not in time. Stolen base and a punch out of Kataris.
It's a nice jump there by Donaldson. Even though it's 3-2 and you're not necessarily taught to get a great jump, he got a great jump, and because he got a great jump, that was in the difference in him making it safely, because Gerald threw that ball right on the bag. Nice slide as well by Donaldson to the far right of second base of that second base bag.
Here is Pennington. He taps one foul. Pennington in the series is 1 for 7, but he's walked 4 times. Former first-round pick of these Athletics out of Texas A&M.
Playing second base these days after the Oakland Athletics acquired Stephen Drew from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Bouncing ball left side. Johnny going a long way to get this one. He'll have no chance. It'll be an infield hit. That'll put 2 aboard. Tying runs on now for the A's. And that'll bring up the aforementioned Stephen Drew. Who struck out to start the game. Second hit of the ball game for the Athletics. And there's a strike. 0-1. Stephen Drew is a former first-round pick. His brothers J.D. and Tim were also first-round selections. All 3 brothers selected in the first round of the June draft. Not the same draft, obviously, but still all first-round selections. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
His brother, J.D. Drew, was a legitimate 5-tool player, but really couldn't stay healthy. But when he was healthy, he was an impact player.
And, Stevens had trouble staying healthy the last year or so. Last year broke his ankle, which kept him out of a lot of games for the Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
The Oakland Athletics actually thought that they had a deal for Hanley Ramirez, who was traded from Miami to Los Angeles at the trade deadline, but Oakland did not want to eat all the money that was to be paid for Hanley the next couple of years. The Dodgers were willing to do so, and therefore Miami traded Hanley to the Dodgers.
Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers, with all the pickups they made, boy, it looked like they were going to start to roll.
This will be one of those deals where it may not benefit them this year, but they're going to be pretty good as they move forward with the talent they've assembled. Sometimes trades just don't work out right away.
Well, they're 9 games back right now behind San Francisco.
It's all about the pitching.
Chopper foul, first base side.
And San Francisco can pitch.
That they can. 86 wins for the Giants.
They got a good manager, good leader too. Bruce Bochy, real good manager.
They've got so much pitching that they're that far ahead in first place, even on a down season from Lincecum. Here's the 2-2. Another ground ball foul by Drew. Drew does have a little bit of power. He's hit only 3 home runs in an A's uniform, but he hit a couple of years ago 21 home runs. And as a member of the Diamondbacks, that was in the 08 season.
Sanchez might have him set up for a fastball here after several off-speed pitches.
Fouled it away. 2-2 the count stays.
%60 of the 44 pitches that Anibal has thrown already have been off-speed pitches.
Right back up the middle on a slow roller. They might get 2 out of this. There's 1. Threw it wide. Threw it away. And a run will score.
And sometimes Omar Infante and his athletic style caused him some errors that he shouldn't make. And really on this particular play, Omar obviously gets it on one hop. You get the 1 out. You take your time. You make a firm throw over the Prince fielder. If you get 2, it's a bonus, but at least you don't throw it away and you don't give them a gift run. It's something that the Tigers have had an issue with a little bit on the road trip. They got themselves in situations where they could turn 2. They did not turn 2 in a lot of these situations, and the pitchers did not bail out the fielders in those situations.
Well, Reddick rolls one back to the mound, so the damage is minimal. 1 run on the air by Infante. Try Arby's new hot turkey roasters. It's the greatest thing since sliced roast beef. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. The Motown Museum, Hitsville, USA. Here in the Motor City. The Tigers have had 4 hits already in this game. They lead 2-0, and Fielder leads it off. Prince looks at strike 1 on the outer edge. Tigers got a couple of runs in the second, and when the Tigers score first, they are 51-23 this year. Prince tried to hold up, did he? Yes, he did. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fielder, then Young, then Peralta. Malone's 1-1. Lifted in the air. See if it stays in play long enough. Long run for Donaldson. Back into the seats it goes. 1-2 on Fielder. He walked in the first inning. Prince has 100 RBIs, which is 5th in the American League. 79, now 80 walks, which is 5th in the American League. Missed it high, did not chase. 2-2. And Prince has also been hit 17 times, so that on-base percentage is going to be high. And right now it's second in the league at .405.
A little mini shift on Prince. Infielder shaded over to the right side with the left-handed Malone on the mound. We've seen some shifts on Prince Fielder where the second baseman is in the outfield and the shortstop is on the second base side of second base.
Here's the 2-2. Just off the plate as Prince watched it into the glove of Gutaris.
Earlier this year when we played the Oakland Athletics out west, Bob Melvin did not have a shift on at all when Prince Fielder was up.
3-2. Lifted in the air. Shallow center. Reddick charging hard. Will get there. 1 out.
Hey fans, don't forget you can join Craig Monroe for a Twitter chat during the 4th and 5th innings. Be part of the conversation at hashtag AskSimo. That's Tiger's Twitter chat with Craig Monroe during the 4th and 5th innings. Fox Sports Detroit getting their money's worth out of Simo. He's at the ballpark. He's all over the place.
Simo's looking sharp in that photo, man.
I thought John Keating was the hardest working man in show business.
Nobody will take that title away from him. Here's Delman Young. Strike called on Delman, who on the first pitch he saw back in the first hit into a double play with the bases loaded.
Simo looks sharp in most of his photos and on television. He's a handsome guy.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes. That'll bounce in. Run the count to 1-2. Malone has had traffic each of the first 2 innings. Bases loaded in the first. Gave up 2 runs in the second. .54 pitches so far in this game for the lefty. And that sails inside. Straightened him up. 2-2. High fly ball left field. It is hit well, but it's not going to be hit deep enough right to the warning track for Seth Smith. 2 gone. Now the Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Tommy Malone. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you. ERA in 14 road games, much higher than it is at home. He's given up 18 home runs on the road. But he's looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the 3rd. Johnny Peralta, the batter. Singled back in the 2nd. And he pops this one up. Right side of the infield. Carter. And that is the 1-2-3 inning for Malone. Tigers go in order. We go to the 4th. 2-1 Detroit. The Tigers going for the sweep, and they lead by a run. It'll be Yoenis Cespedes leading it off, Brandon Moss, and then Chris Carter. In the top of the fourth, facing Sanchez. Honeywell gave up an unearned run, courtesy of an error back in the third. 2 runs, 4 hits. Detroit, 1 run, 2 hits for the Athletics. Cespedes takes ball 1 high. Bounced out his first time up. He has been out of the lineup a couple of different times with a couple of minor injuries, but they do have one big stat that kind of sticks out. When Cespedes is in their lineup, he is 72, or the team is 72 and 42 with him in there.
That's why Bob Melvin has tried to figure out ways in the month of September to keep him fresh. When he played for the Cuban national team, they only played 90-game schedules.
Ooh, my goodness. That might be one of the hardest swings I've seen in a while. Where's the bat? There it is.
He was trying to leave Earth.
I had her looking at that. 2-2.
So every game that he plays the remainder of the way will be a new career high for Cespedes. And they had 2 days off a week when he played for the Cuban national team.
That's in the air to shallow center, and Mr. Jackson cruising in. Routine play.
Tigers, for the most part, have kept Cespedes quiet, too. Hey, fans, enjoy Appreciation Weekend at Comerica Park tomorrow through Sunday when the Tigers battle the Twins. Prizes given to random fans all weekend. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Final homestand of the season.
No, it can't be true. Here's Moss, and he takes ball 1. Strikeout victim back in the second. One ball, 1 strike. Maybe it's because they strike out a lot, Rod, but it looks like this Oakland team swings really, really hard. They take some big swings.
Even with 2 strikes. And when you get behind in the count with 2 strikes, that's when your hitting instructor wants to see something visibly different. Whether you choke up, whether you spread out, you'd like to see more contact.
Now the 1-2. That one almost hit him. 2-2.
Now their hitting coach, Chili Davis, had a lot of power. He was a switch hitter. Hit a lot of home runs, but he was also a big RBI guy. And Chili knew how to slash from both sides.
For 19 years in the major leagues, ball high, and the count goes 3-2.
This is his first year as a hitting coach for the Oakland Athletics. Last season, his first season as a coach in professional baseball. He was the AAA hitting coach for the Boston Red Sox. Chili went to Dorsey High School in California. You know who else went to Dorsey High School?
Sparky Anderson.
Sparky Anderson. And Billy Consolo, too, his sidekick.
Right.
Went to Dorsey High School.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The strikeouts just keep piling up for this A's team.
Well, here's that big swing that we just spoke of with 2 strikes. They don't cut it down. That's a breaking ball, and he's not trying to hit a single, that's for sure.
5 strikeouts for Sanchez. Chris Carter steps in. Fouled away, 0-1. Tigers have gotten some really good pitching in the series. Of course, Verlander last night, and the bullpen did most of the heavy lifting in the first game of the series. Max going out after 2 frames. 0-2.
Sanchez only 8 of 14 in first pitch strikes to the Oakland Athletics, but that's by design. When you have an aggressive club like they do, you don't have to throw first pitch strikes. They're still going to help you out. They're going to swing quite often.
That one just missed. 1-2. I would think that with a team or against a team like this, you don't want to throw too many strikes, do you?
No, you don't have to, especially first pitch strikes.
Missed high, 2-2.
And the last two fastballs have been out of the strike zone by design, hoping to get Carter to chase, which he didn't.
Off the end of the bat. Sanchez has it. He'll do it all himself. The old one unassisted. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, Avisail Garcia leads it off. One is our score. Last night, of course, we had the big auction here at the ballpark to benefit the Detroit Tigers Foundation. Here were the package winners. Package one for $3,600 went to Matt S. in Cary, North Carolina. And package number two for $2,400 to Mike in Bloomfield. And package number three, $3,550 to Christina in Northville. And so pretty good numbers raised last night.
$11,870 raised for Detroit Tigers Foundation.
By the way, my package, along with Keith's, raised the most money, but I just wanted to bring that up.
It must have been the hairspray that was in there.
There's a base hit to left field. Another hit for Avisail Garcia. The Detroit Tigers Foundation, by the way, what a worthy and great cause, especially for this city, because it benefits youth, educational, and recreational instances or abilities for the Detroit community, the Metro Detroit community. So it really is a great way for the Tigers to give back to the city of Detroit and the greater Detroit area. So we thank the Detroit Tigers Foundation for what they do.
And Jim Leland has another opportunity here to do, if he wants to, simply put on another sacrifice bunt and get Garcia in the scoring position. Andy Dirks sacrificed his first time up today.
No sign this time. Ball one as it bounces in.
And sometimes Jim will, not to put the bunt on, give some guys the opportunity to swing if the ball's in the strike zone. Then on the second pitch, he might put it on. He could also put a hit and run on. He could do a lot of different things here. Put a runner in motion if he chose to do so.
Oh, they got it picked off. Garcia left on first movement, and now he's going to be run back to first base and tagged out.
The hit and run was on, and that's the one thing that you can't do if you're Garcia. And I'm sure Tom Brookins reminded him of that fact before the pitch was thrown. You can't be over aggressive in a hit and run situation. You simply have to rely on the hitter to put the ball in play. He left first base too early, therefore he was picked off.
Caught stealing 1-3-6.
Lesson learned for the youngster.
Here's the 1-0. Dirks shoots one to center field on a line. Diving attempt, and it drops in safely. Base hit. Josh Reddick almost picked that one off.
Great effort by Reddick, and you can clearly see on the replay that it was a trap. But Reddick tried to sell it to the second base umpire, Jerry Mills.
Might as well try.
And a real good look here at it. He's lucky he was able to corral that baseball and didn't get by him. Dirks would at least be standing on third base.
Here's Gerald Laird. It's the 6th Tigers hit. RBI single back in the 2nd for Laird. 6 hits in 8 at-bats in this series. And the average now is up to 290 for Gerald. Ball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Speaking of those packages, isn't that the second consecutive year that you have won that thing?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. But,
well, you need to stop. You need to stop having your people call and make them bids get up there so high.
Don't be giving away my secrets.
Family members calling bids.
No, man, it was legit, dude. It was legit. Just don't dig deep into the phone records. That's all I ask.
Find this out. 2nd year in a row.
2-1 on Laird. It sounded like some sour grapes there coming from your end.
No, I'm all good.
I teamed up with Keating this year. That's why we won. And Scherzer, of course. There's a throw back to the bag.
It's all about the charity.
It is. And a lot of money again was raised. The lunch with Rod and Simo, Christina K from Northville won that. So do you guys have the spot picked out where you're going to go?
No, there's some nice spots over in Northville, though. I'm sure that she'll pick out a real nice spot, maybe her favorite.
Driven to deep center field. Reddick will run back to get it. Christina picked the most expensive spot you can find. And Rod and Simo will be glad to foot the bill. Here's Austin Jackson. Two outs with a runner aboard. Jackson, a sac fly back in the 2nd, and right now that's the difference in this game. There's a strike 0-1. Tigers today have out hit the A's 6-2, but they lead by just 1 run.
They've been able to bend Malone, but they have not been able to break him. He's thrown 67 pitches, and most of them have missed the strike zone.
He'll shoot that one in the air to center. Reddick will cruise over to his right, and the inning is over. No runs, couple of hits, 1 left. Malone has settled in nicely. But the Tigers lead here this afternoon 2-1, going for the sweep in this series. Right on Anibal Sanchez now has apparently really settled into his new team because he's spinning another pretty good one today. Really the only error by the Tigers has scored their only run.
You know, the first best stuff we've seen Sanchez with was 5 days ago. That was against Cleveland. He was sensational in that outing. But his stuff today has been as good. The fastball's good, good breaking ball, good fading action with the changeup.
You know what I like? The Tigers came home. They knew they had to take care of business in this ballpark because they struggle on the road, and they've done just that so far.
Well, they got number 24, who plays third base, and he has been a beast in this entire series.
That's driven in the air deep to right field. Garcia is going back. He will look up on this one, and it is gone. It's a home run for Seth Smith, and we are tied at 2.
Oh, well, that's what Oakland does. Oakland hits quite a few home runs. As a matter of fact, that is the 172nd big fly that Bob Melvin's team has hit this year. The pitch was 85 miles an hour. It was a changeup that was up, and that allowed Smith to get out in front of it. You could see the circle change grip coming out of the glove and not located where Sanchez wanted it. That one was right down the middle.
Number 14 for Smith, and we are tied at 2 runs apiece. Here's Donaldson. Strike one on Josh Donaldson. So they get an unearned run in the 3rd, and now the home run by Smith here in the 5th. Ball missing high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 from Sanchez. It's a strike on the outer edge. Donaldson says, I don't think so. Singled scored a run back in the 3rd. He led things off with a base hit back in the 3rd. And Sanchez has allowed just 3 hits. One of them, though, has left the ballpark. That missed outside. 2-2 the count. The 2-0 Tigers lead has disappeared. 2-2 game now. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for the A's offense. Here's George Kataris. 6 strikeouts today for Sanchez. One strike on Kataris, who also struck out back in the 3rd. Former Milwaukee Brewer, spent a couple of years with the Brewers. And that's in there. Now it's 0-2. Ground ball first base side. Prince plays a funny hop. Sanchez will cover. 2 gone. How about that AT&T trivia question this afternoon? Who are the only 2 active players to win multiple batting titles? Cabrera trying to do just that. He won it last year and is leading this year. Only 2 actives that have had multiple batting titles. Can you name them? Pennington had an infield hit in his first at bat. And this low 1-0. There's a strike called. Pennington has a couple of hits in the series. Takes that one outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
When you can throw that pitch up here with the kind of confidence that Sanchez features it with in a fastball count, you can get a lot of swing and misses. Nice changeup.
Line foul. It's actually turned into a nice day today as the temperature now starting to rise. 60 degrees. The sun is shining here. The clouds have faded away. Low 3-2. Sanchez has had 3 1-2-3 innings. And there's a walk. 2-out base runner. That'll bring up Stephen Drew. 79 now for Sanchez, so the pitches are starting to mount a little bit. He is throwing mostly strikes. 54 though.
And he needs to make sure that he does not forget about Pennington over at first base. Pennington has 15 steals. Oakland as a club likes to run. And there's 2 outs. Bob Melvin would love to get him in the scoring position.
0 for 2 for Stephen Drew. Ball 1. Drew before the trade was hitting just 193 with Arizona. There's a strike called. 1-1 on the Athletic shortstop.
Bob Melvin, when he was the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Stephen Drew was a young shortstop at that time. And Bob Melvin watched him have a pretty good year. It's probably one of the reasons why he's got an Oakland Athletics uniform on now. Bob has managed at 3 different spots. Seattle, Arizona, now Oakland.
Drew skies this one foul back out of play.
Bob Melvin gives a lot of credit to his mentor, former Tigers manager Phil Garner. And Bob Melvin said that when he was very young and just getting into coaching, it was Phil Garner that really taught him a lot about all aspects of managing. Scrap Iron was his nickname, Phil Garner.
Drew's biggest year with Arizona was in 2008. Hit 291 that year, but also hit 21 home runs. And now Sanchez will step off. You leaning any way toward the manager of the year in the American League?
The more I look at some numbers, the more I start to lean toward this Bob Melvin decision. Buck Showalter's done a marvelous job with the Baltimore Orioles, but when you look at the offense this year that they've really not had, a lot of young players to go where they've come from in their division, I might go Bob Melvin right now.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm right there with you. In fact, he would get my vote. Because when you look at the fact that they've had, well, right now 4 rookies in their rotation. Traded away Bailey and Gio Gonzalez and Trevor Cahill.
They traded away all-stars. Those guys made all-star teams.
And a lot of their offensive pieces right now have spent time in the minor leagues this year. The 2-2 is rolled foul.
We've pointed out and we've documented it the last couple of days that their strength has been their pitching. And by and large, they were able to get back their longtime pitching coach, Kurt Young, who spent 1 year in Boston and now in his 28th season in an A's uniform.
Another foul back out of play. You know, the argument for Showalter, of course, is that he's in the American League East, but you brought up a good point. You know, playing in the West is not really that much of a picnic either.
It's not. Texas and Los Angeles are 2 of the best teams in the game.
Josh Reddick waiting on deck.
And you might just draw King Felix when you go to Seattle.
The other name, Robin Ventura, certainly will be in that conversation for AL Manager of the Year, and Ventura's done great work in his first season managing in the major leagues. Runner going and a swing and a miss. Drew strikes out. to end the inning. However, they tie it up on the Smith home run. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. We think that Bob Melvin might be a front runner for manager of the year. Look at all of the rookies this season he's had to use, both in the rotation and, well, in lineup as well.
It's going to get a little bit tougher for Bob Melvin because the news is not really good on Brett Anderson, who pulled an oblique yesterday and had to leave the game after just 2+ innings. He said last night he could barely sit down.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good at all. In a weird kind of way, he was the elder statesman in their rotation.
So it's very doubtful that Anderson will make his next start in Texas for their club.
Infante is leading it off as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Brand new ball game now, 2-2. And the Seth Smith home run. Tommy Malone gave up just the 2 on the 2nd. And Infante rolls it foul. 1-2 the count on Omar. Got a double in the 1st and a walk in the 2nd. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Missed it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Omar hitting .254. Pulled to third and gloved there by Donaldson. 1 out. Bring up Cabrera.
And more than likely Miguel Cabrera will get his 2nd free pass of the day.
Cabrera walked in the 1st and flied out in the 2nd inning. 0 for 1. And still batting .333. In their first strike. One and one the count.
That pitch that Cabrera hit yesterday for the home run, the 94-mile-per-hour 0-2 fastball up around his neck. And it was incredible.
1-2. Yeah, that was the home run that everybody was talking about today. I mean, you literally can't pitch to him now if he's hitting that ball out.
That's ridiculous.
The 1-2. That one missed high, and the count is 2-2.
That's the same one he hit out of the yard last night.
Prince on deck. Started the windup, then stopped.
Here's that 7th inning homer. 94 up around the net, climbed the ladder, and hit it out of the yard.
Line drive to left, base hit. So Cabrera gets a 1-out knock.
It doesn't matter where you pitch this guy.
Mazda scouting report on Miguel Cabrera. The numbers are starting to pile up, to say the least. That 361 for close and late really speaks volumes.
Look at the percentage of runs that he's accounted for his club in the month of September. And a 363 batting average the last 2 months. And he's not getting any infield singles.
That close and late status, 7th inning or later, 1 run or less. The difference in the game at that time.
I was in the Tigers clubhouse today, and it's about 4 or 5 players, and the conversation was who was going to win the most valuable player. And of course, every single one of his teammates, they believe that he will be the runaway winner with that award, but there's still some doubt.
Fouled back out of play. I think he'll win it. I don't know that he'll be a runaway winner, because I still think there are a lot of folks out there that think that Mike Trout's secondary numbers are certainly deserving of the award.
And that's exactly what the players were saying downstairs.
Fielder a walk and a fly ball.
I know Jim feels very strongly about his slugger winning his first MVP.
Foul back.
Trout has slowed down a little bit since August 1st, and Miguel Cabrera, as we just pointed out, just continues to march on.
I don't think there's any doubt, or many would not argue, that Mike Trout is probably the best all-around baseball player in the game right now, but Cabrera's meant more to his team and has monster numbers.
Even better than Josh Hamilton all around?
Ooh, that's a good point. Well,
he's good now. Come on now.
Yeah, he is.
But Hamilton's special too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. I'd still probably go Trout by an eyelash over Hamilton all around. Ball high. 2-2. So Malone fell behind 2-0. Teammates got him 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. And he's trying to navigate through the middle of the Tigers lineup here in the 5th inning. Delman waiting on deck. That'll get fouled down the left field line.
That is something that both Miguel and also Prince do very well. And we were talking about the Oakland A's and the fact that they strike out a lot because they have really big swings with 2 strikes. You saw Miguel Cabrera fight off a breaking ball inside at 76 miles an hour for a base hit, and Prince has cut down his swing with 2 strikes against Malone on the last couple of balls he's been able to foul off.
He'll drive that one toward right center field. That's going to find the gap. Reddick over to cut it off, then he bobbles it. Now they're going to send Cabrera home. And Miguel will score. Tigers retake the lead 3-2.
This is why these cats drive in 100 miles, 100 runs per year. It's 2 strikes. It's a breaking ball. He knows when he can do some damage. It's out of the zone. But because he was able to cut the swing down, he was able to get himself a double, which turned into a run for the Tigers because Reddick didn't come up with it cleanly.
And it's a 3-2 ball game. Tigers get a run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's Delman Young. It's fouled back out of play. They are giving Prince an RBI on that ball. It was bobbled, and Cabrera was coming around 3rd, but they ruled that he would have scored. So double RBI. 101 in the RBI category now for the Prince. Good pickup behind the plate by Kataris.
That's how you hit 300. 2 strikes, you kind of cut your swing down, you put the ball in play, and that's why Prince is bidding to hit 300 for the very first time in his major league career. Although he's been close, he hit 299 one season.
The 1-1 pitch. There's a bullet to left, base hit. Fielder had to watch it through, so he will stop at third, and the Tigers have him at the corners.
It's a wise decision by Gene Lamont. The ball hit sharply, and you have a former quarterback in left field, Seth Smith. He backed up Eli Manning at Ole Miss, so you know he can throw.
It's going to bring up Johnny Peralta. It's also going to bring Kurt Young out. Pat Neshek warming up. He pitched in last night's game. While he warms up, we tell you how you can vote for your Tigers. McDonald's Player of the Game is presented by the Daily Double Burger at McDonald's for only $1.99. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. So here is Peralta. Malone trying to limit the damage here. RBI double by Fielder. Single and a pop-up. And that one's fouled back out of play. So each Manning brother now has sent somebody to the big leagues. Eli sent Seth Smith to the big leagues because he was his backup.
Yep.
And Peyton sent
Todd Helton.
Yeah.
Todd Helton's gone on to have an extraordinary career in Colorado.
The 0-1. Missed it inside.
Unfortunately, guys like Todd Helton and Larry Walker will never, ever really get their true due because they played in Colorado where the ball was flying out of the ballpark with regularity early in their days as players there. But those were 2 really good players.
The 1-1. Missed inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's not trying to get Peralta out with the fastball in. He is simply trying to get him to roll over the changeup, and more than likely he will throw something off speed here, hoping that Peralta will simply hit the ball to the shortstop. And J.D. Drew.
Jerry Blevins has joined Pat Neshek. Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count.
Nice little cutter down in the end at 88 miles an hour.
Three hits in the series for Johnny. Another hit here would look nice. Trying to get Prince home from third. And the 2-2. Missed inside. 3-2.
Every single pitch has been inside to Johnny Peralta. Tigers have a 1-run lead. You've got a 3-2 count. You have 1 out. Does he dare put him in motion?
Send him. Not going. In the air toward left, shallow. Smith will charge, not deep enough to score the run. So the runners hold at first and third. And that's going to be it for Malone. Neshek is going to come in to face Garcia, the rookie. So we'll take a timeout. Wallside Windows pitching change. Neshek coming in a 3-2 game. of these four, which is the hardest to accomplish? Is it A, the Triple Crown, B, win 30 games, C, hit 400, or D, hit for the cycle? Text ACE, then a space, A, B, C, or D to 37338. We asked this question last night, but we have a different crowd today because it's an afternoon game. So here were the results from last night. The hardest, according to y'all, was to hit 400, 44% of the votes. So we'll continue to take votes on that poll question. Which do you think is the hardest to accomplish?
Where'd you get that y'all from?
I don't know. It just came out. It doesn't fit or anything. It just came out of nowhere. Garcia stands in, looks at the ball outside. Neshek is in.
We saw Neshek in last night's game, and pretty much every single pitch he threw to the right-handed batters were away from them. And you could see that he has dominated right-handed batters this year. Their batting average is sub 100.
Popped in the air, shallow right. Pennington charging back to the grass. And that is that. So the Tigers will settle for one, and the big boys did the work. Cabrera singles. Fielder doubles him home. In favor of Detroit, they've had 9 hits in this game. Sanchez has allowed just 3. Honeywell goes back to the mound, and in 5 innings, he's given up just 1 earned run. And he has 7 strikeouts in this game. So the Tigers right-hander back to work, and he's going to have to deal now with 2, 3, and 4 in the Oakland lineup. Reddick will lead things off. Tough day today for Reddick. A fly ball and a ground out. He's 2 for 9 in the series. Showing bunt, and he looks at a ball inside. 1-0.
They've been able to contain Reddick in the series, but before they came to town this time, when he was wearing a Boston uniform last year, in that first series out west this year, he was doing some damage against Tigers pitching.
Not so much in this series, though. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's grounded foul. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Popped him up behind the plate. Gerald Laird discards the mask. Reddick is out. 1 gone. Now we have a chance. To the studio we go. Game break time with Mickey York. Thanks, Mick. Yeah, there are no guarantees, especially with that Royals team. They came up with a big win last night against Chicago. There's a strike called on Cespedes.
How about Mickey York back in the Coliseum Studios? A day game after a night game. I see you, Mickey.
He's tough. Answering the bell today. Here's the 0-1. And there's a strike, 0-2. Cespedes not a whole lot for the most part of the series. He's 0 for 2. Ground out, fly ball. They've kept him in the ballpark. Had a couple of singles in last night's game, but did not score. And he shoots one into left center. Another soft floater that rolls in for a base hit.
Are you going to Mickey York's event this Sunday night?
I am indeed.
At the Meadowbrook Hall at Oakland University.
You going to be there? Mickey
York's Evening Under the Stars. Yes, I am going to go out and support Mickey York.
Good for you. Should be fun. Little Tigers win during the day and the event at night.
Free meal.
See, I knew it always came back to that with you. That's driven down the right field line. It's going to be fair and go all the way to the wall. Garcia will dig it up. Cespedes coming at third. Now they're going to send him home. And the throw gets away. The run will score. Into third base goes Moss. 3-3 ball game. Double RBI, third on the throw.
Garcia still a very young player, but he should know which base to throw to. He comes up and he should simply hit Omar Infante. You can see where Infante is. He's the cutoff man. Cespedes is going to third base. He's going to stop. But because the throw goes to the middle of the diamond, and Mike Gallego, the third base coach, who was halfway down the third baseline, he simply started waving Cespedes home. So that's a play right there where the throw should go to Infante. And if it does, it's second and third and one out.
That's the fifth hit of the game now for the Athletics, and they have the go-ahead run at third base with only one out. Oakland trying to get their first lead since the first inning of game 1 in this series when they led 1-0. Infield coming in for Detroit. And Chris Carter trying to get the run in. 0-1. Oh, and 2. 14 home runs for Carter, 35 RBIs. And he swings and strikes out, and Sanchez comes right back on 3 pitches and dispatches Carter.
It's like he got a little angry with the way that he attacked Carter. Didn't even waste a pitch. He just went right around the belt buckle with about 92. Four-seam fastball. Carter couldn't catch up to it.
And Smith is not going to hit. They're going to walk him intentionally. Donaldson waiting on deck. There's ball 2 outside. Smith homered to lead off the 5th inning, and he will not get a chance to swing the bat here. So we'll put him aboard, and Donaldson will come strolling in. He's getting a run in the 5th and now 1 here in the 6th. It's a 3-3 game. Single and a strikeout for Josh Donaldson. Ball 1 outside. Eight strikeouts in the game for Sanchez. There is activity in the Detroit bullpen. Phil Koch, the lefty, and Al Albuquerque, the righty. Ball 2. 2-0 on Donaldson. That's in there, a strike. 2-1. A's hitters in this series have struck out 28 times now. And not even through 3 games in the series. And Donaldson now stepping out. Three runs, 9 hits, Detroit. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Athletics. Line drive to left. That's a base hit. They walk Smith to get to Donaldson, and he spoils the strategy, and the Athletics have the lead 4-3.
Really good patient at bat by Donaldson. And let's take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch. And Donaldson was patient on the very first 2. And then he took a look at 1, which was a strike, knowing that Sanchez had to come back over the zone, and he did, and he got too close, and he hit a seed to left field.
And that's going to be it for Anibal Sanchez. The Tigers will be headed to the bullpen. After 106 pitches, Sanchez out of the game. We'll be back. And trailing 4-3, gave up 6 hits in this game. One of the errors, though, one of the runs scoring on an error in the 3rd. And Sanchez 5 2/3, still responsible for the runners at 1st and 2nd. 8 punch-outs in this game. They'll give way now to Phil Koch. Koch will face George Kataris. Ball 1 outside to Kataris. RBI double by Moss. 2-run scoring single, or 2-run RBI single, I should say. 2-out single for Donaldson. And 3 hits in this inning, giving the Athletics 2 runs. Hopefully no more. And that one missed. Koch tried to thread the outside corner, couldn't do it. 2-0.
Very important for Phil Koch to strand those 2 inherited runners left out there by Sanchez. For the most part, this year he's been pretty good. He's stranded 76% of those he's had inherited.
Now the 2-0. Driven to center field on a line. Jackson misplayed it. It's going to go to the wall. 2 runs will score. Kataris is on his way to third. They're going to stop him there.
I mean, very seldom will you see Austin Jackson not catch a line drive hit directly at him. That ball was knuckling. And Jackson came in, then he went back, and the ball took a left turn on him. And the end result is a couple of runs scored on a triple.
And a speedier runner, and who knows, they might have had a chance to score him. How scary is that play if you're a center fielder?
You know, Jackson, as I took a look at it, I mean, he kind of came in and he came back and then he kind of turned the wrong way. It's a play that Jackson usually makes, but the ball did take a drastic left turn on him. But Jackson will be the first one to tell you, you know, I got to make that play.
So Albuquerque comes trotting in. It's now 6-3 in favor of Oakland. Inning. They have a man at third, and Albuquerque takes over for Detroit.
Albuquerque, for the most part, last year, and we have not seen a lot of them this year, but he was effective against left-handed batters and right-handed batters. He was one of the bigger surprises in the American League last year for a rookie.
He'll face Pennington with 2 outs, and there's a ball high. 4-run 6th inning for Oakland, and they lead 6-3. Now the 1-0. Fouled straight back by Pennington. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield single and a walk for the number 9 hitter for the A's, Pennington. George Kataris has just tripled in a couple of runs. Fouled back out of play. 1-2. A's much better with men in scoring position this afternoon. 3 for 5. They had wasted many opportunities in the first 2 games in the series. Little bounce in. Good pickup there by Laird. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Phil Coke faced one batter, Kataris, and he tripled in a pair of runs. Here's the 2-2. Rolled foul. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Albuquerque comes in, does the job, but it's a big inning 4 spot for the A's.
difference in this game right now is a few misplays by the Tigers defensively. One back in the third inning where they did not complete the double play. Might have just gotten one out there. Then you had last half inning, Garcia throwing to the wrong base, not throwing to the cutoff man. And then this last play, the ball knuckling on Austin Jackson in center field. He wasn't able to make the play, and a couple of more runs come around to score.
Big four spot for the Athletics, and they have the lead in this game. They have a new pitcher now as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning here.
Well, for the first time in the series, Bob Melvin's able to go to the back end of his bullpen, and it starts with Blevins. Blevins has been very good this year. You see his numbers against left-handers and right-handers. 55 games, he's won 4, lost 1. ERA is under 2.5. First couple of days of the series here, the Tigers stayed in the middle relief of the Oakland Athletics.
Andy Dirks will lead things off. Then Gerald Laird, and then Austin Jackson facing Jerry Blevins. And he looks at ball one. Dirks had a sacrifice in the second inning, had a base hit in the fourth. Tigers have out-hit the A's 9-7, but trail by 3. That sails outside, and the count goes 2-0. Blevins had a really tough August. His ERA was 5 last month, but has not allowed a run here in September. Bouncing ball foul. Here's the 2-1. Strike call, 2-2. And he laid off, run the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Blevins a couple of years ago spent the entire season in the big leagues with the A's. Otherwise up and down with Oakland since 2007. And the 3-2 in the air, right field, hit well. Moss to the wall, leaps, and that ball is gone. Andy Dirks with a line drive home run, and it's 6-4.
First runs Blevins has given up in the month of September. Andy Dirks has had a really nice series. He has done everything. He's bunted for base hits. He's sacrificed when he's been called upon to do so. That time he climbs the ladder and gets an 88-mile-per-hour fastball, and he plays long ball to right field.
Dirks starting to come alive. He was under 200 in the month of September coming into the series. Here's Gerald Laird. That's in there for strike 1. So it's a 2-run game now. The 10th hit of the day for the Tigers.
Andy Dirks got that little short, quick, compact swing. Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Seems to always find the barrel of the bat.
It's tapped foul. No balls, 2 strikes on Gerald Laird. So the Tigers get to the bullpen here with a run in the 6th inning on the homer by Dirks, his 7th of the year. Andy now with 5 hits in this series. Ball high, 1-2. Blevins played his college ball at Dayton. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is pulled foul, third base side. Malone started the game. Neshek came on to get the final out of the 5th inning, and now Blevins here in the 6th. Bullpens will be facing each other the rest of the way. Fouled straight back. 1-2. The count stays on Laird. There's more action in the bullpen for the Athletics. That's Ryan Cook. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bob Melvin, manager of the Oakland Athletics, knows this game is far from over. And he still has to see Jackson, Miguel, and Fielder a couple of times in this game.
Fly ball in the air to left center field. Reddick heads out there, and the outfield swallows that one up.
The Tigers will host the Minnesota Twins on Saturday at 4:05. The first 10,000 fans receive a 2013 Detroit Tigers magnet schedule. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
And Bob Melvin goes back in the bullpen, so Cook will be trotting into this one. Another pitching change. We step aside. 6-4 ball game. Lead right now as we play here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and here's that AT&T trivia question. Who are the only 2 active players to win multiple batting titles? And your answer is Ichiro in 01 and 04 and Joe Mauer. Miguel Cabrera trying to accomplish that feat, winning it last year and leading again this year. He's also looking to win the Triple Crown too, which
is doable.
Is definitely doable. Hasn't been done since Yastrzemski did it in '67. That's how long it's been.
He is trailing Josh Hamilton by just 1 home run.
And his lead is starting to lengthen in the batting average
and the RBI category.
Numbers on Ryan Cook. He'll take over with the bases empty.
He does as well against left-handers as he does against right-handers.
First pitch sails inside to Austin Jackson.
Both of them hitting 167 against Cook, who just threw a really good 2-seam fastball at 96 miles an hour with some late life.
And that's in there for a strike. 1-1. Got an 0.85 ERA on the road. compared to better than 4 at home. 2 balls, 1 strike on
Coliseum out in Oakland is very pitcher friendly. It's a big ballpark.
And the 2-1. Fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cook, like the starter Malone, played his college ball at USC, which has sent many a player to the big leagues. A couple of big names of the past, of course, Barry Zito, Mark McGwire, Randy Johnson went there. And the 2-2. Jackson takes outside, 3-2. Infante waiting on deck. Jackson waiting on the 3-2. Here it is. That'll get fouled. AJ in this one, a sac fly, knocking in a run back in the second. Now Jackson was 62 runs driven in, career high for Austin this year. Only his 3rd season in the big leagues. And that's in the air toward right field. This is going to be a long run for Moss. He'll get there in foul ground. Jackson retired. 2 away. That'll bring up Infante. Pretty good day for Omar, double and a walk. 1 for 2. Popped up foul, back out of play. The Athletics in the offseason last December traded away Trevor Cahill to the Diamondbacks, and Cook was part of that deal coming back the other way.
That is something that Billy Beane has done a masterful job of. When he does trade away an all-star, he usually gets something really good in return.
It's another fly ball to right field, heading toward the line and twirling a little bit, but Moss runs it down to end the inning. Tigers get a run back, though, courtesy of Mr. Dirks, who goes deep. And he hit his 7th home run of the year. And by Toyota, brought to you by your Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. It is 6-4 in favor of the Athletics. Tigers try to sweep, but they'll need to come back as we go to the 7th inning. They've out-hit the A's 10-7, and Oakland will bat here with Stephen Drew leading it off. He's the top of their order. And Albuquerque brings it home, a wave and a miss. Drew has struck out twice in this game, 6 times in the series. Drew, Reddick, Cespedes here in the 7th. Albuquerque came on to get the final out of the 6th. It's way outside. To the backstop it goes, 1-1. Out Snow on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. So Drew once again in the hole.
It's not where Albuquerque wanted that breaking ball. He wanted it down and in. Gerald Laird had to reach back out, but he was able to frame it and got the call from the home plate umpire today, Gary Darling.
Boy, did he. The 1-2 is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's where he wanted that last pitch, and that's where he wants most of his sliders to the left-handed batters. It is an absolute legitimate swing and miss pitch for Albuquerque.
He was fun to watch last year when he came up.
That's right.
Led all American League relievers with a 142 average against. That's in the air toward left field, slicing away from Dirks. Long run. Andy gets there right at the wall at 345.
Andy Dirks got a super jump on that baseball off the bat of Stephen Drew. He was off at the crack of the bat, and he needed to get that kind of jump to run it down.
We'll bring up Reddick. Pop up, ground out, fly out. Ball 1.
Well, you got your sunshine. Those clouds pretty much have gone bye-bye here today.
For a while there, I didn't think we'd get it.
It's turned into a nice day.
Absolutely. 63 degrees. It's in the low 50s at game time. Strike called. That's lifted in the air toward left, slicing away from Dirks. This will get back into the seats. Well, not a whole lot going on for Reddick today, and that's good news because he had torched the Tigers pitching for the most part this year. They need to keep him in the ballpark here. 2-run game.
He's a strikeout candidate. He has punched out 141 times this year.
Missed it high.
Albuquerque decided to go with the fastball upstairs instead of going with the breaking ball down the feet of Josh Reddick. He'll get that slider now.
And he sends it on the ground to the right side, and it's backhanded there by Fonte. Reddick is out. 2 away. Here is Cespedes. Single for 3.
Cespedes has shown us some glimpses of his talent that he has, but he really hasn't gotten loose in the 3-game series. No major damage done by Cespedes.
He's had 4 hits, all of them singles. Ball 1 from Albuquerque. 6 runs, 7 hits for the A's. 4 runs, 10 hits for Detroit. Tigers have stranded 7 in this game. Oakland has left only 3. Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Another huge rip. Cespedes swung earlier in the game so hard that he let go of the bat.
He's a dead pull hitter. And one of the things that you want to make him do is you want to make him utilize the big part of the ballpark or make him hit the ball to right field.
Two and 1. Albuquerque last year almost 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. And the 2-1 on the outer edge. Not a whole lot to do with that one. 2 and 2.
Here's that spray chart on Cespedes. Up the middle, 51 hits to the pull field, 53, just 22 the opposite way.
Swing and a miss. Albuquerque strikes him out. 1-2-3 inning. As we go to the stretch, big bats coming up. Cabrera and Fielder and Young. Right now leading at 6-4. The Oakland offense has struck out 30 times in this series against Tigers pitching. Miguel Cabrera, 10-game hitting streak, extending it today. That's the longest of the season, and a solo homer by Andy Dirks in the 6th inning, his 7th of the year. So here come the big guns now. Cabrera leads it off in the bottom of the 7th, down by 2. And the first pitch is in for a strike right at the knees. Cabrera had a single, scored a run ahead of the double by Fielder back in the 5th. And Miguel batting .334. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cabrera has seen Cook 1 time, and he's 0 for 1 against him career.
Yanks that one foul. 1-2.
And Cabby out in front of a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
Cook was saving games in the minor leagues last year with the Diamondbacks before being promoted. Pitched 12 games in the major leagues. And a swing and a miss, and he strikes out Cabrera.
He gave Miguel 3 different looks in the 4 pitches that Miguel saw. And Miguel got a first pitch fastball at 97. He took that one. Then there's a breaking ball that he misses with, and he gets out in front of a 96-mile-per-hour piece of cheese, and that ball acted like it was a splitter.
Well, he gave the scouting report to Prince and to Delman as he walked back to the bench. There's a strike on the outer edge. Fielder doubled in a run back in the 5th. Here's the 0-1. Strike call, this time on the inside part of the plate, 0-2. Jimmy John's leaderboard, on base percentage leaders. Well, Fielder's been there just about the entire season. Only Mauer has been better. And Cabrera's up there as well, 399. Bouncing ball right side of the infield. It's going to be the pitcher Cook to cover. The old 4-1 put out. 2 gone. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Delman. Young is 1 for 3, a single in his last at bat. Swing and a miss. Cook has come on and retired 4 straight. We'll shoot that one foul, back out of play, right field line, 0-2.
Talking about Melvin yesterday in his office, and he was talking about how important it is for him to get to the back end of that bullpen. That's how they win a lot of games, with quality starting pitching. And he was speaking of Blevins. He was speaking of Cook. Also Grant Balfour.
Running through the matchups, looking at all the numbers. Fouled it off, and Delman stays alive. Well, you have 2 guys at the back end of their pen in Cook and Balfour that have saved games. Balfour has 19, Cook has 14. Looking at who is left on the Detroit bench. It's Chip Hale down there. Bender missing high, 1-2.
At some point in time, Chip Hale is going to get an opportunity to manage in the major leagues. There's a lot of people out there that believe that Chip Hale will make a really good manager someday.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Delman is out of there. A quiet 1-2-3 inning. Couple of punch outs for Mr. Cook. Let's go to the 8th. Enjoying apparently his second Tigers game. They must have used that sign last night as well in his first Tigers game. But it's turned into a nice day. The sun is shining. 6-4 is our score. The Athletics with the lead as we go to the top of the 8th. Albuquerque back to the hill. And it'll be the number 4 hitter, Brandon Moss, who doubled in a run in his last at bat. And Albuquerque hits the outside corner.
Albuquerque, a lot of the breaking balls that he has thrown since coming into the game have not been those real good sliders down and in the left-handers. He's hung a lot of them. A lot of them have stayed up in the zone. A lot of them have missed outside. There's a good one.
He must have heard you.
He got on top of that one.
Take that, Rod.
Didn't overthrow that one. I'll wear it.
0-2. Swing and a miss.
He did hear me.
Take that again, Rod. That is his Third strikeout.
That's the legitimate swing and miss slider right there. One at 84, the next one at 85.
Here's Chris Carter. He's punched out a couple of times. 31 strikeouts now for the A's offense in this series. Yanked foul.
He just got the one pitch he could hit, the fastball.
So now he's done.
Here comes that slide piece.
Ten hits today for the Tigers, 7 for the Athletics. Another fastball in 96 and missed low. 1-1.
For the most part, Jim going to get as much as he can out of Albuquerque because more than likely he would not use him tomorrow. He's already thrown 27 pitches. And as many left-handers as the Oakland Athletics have at their disposal, it's starting to look more and more like Scherzer might miss his next start because we haven't seen Drew Smiley get up yet.
Now, Leland said before the game today wanted to stay away from Drew because of that possibility. At all costs, he wanted to stay away from him. But you're right, it's starting to look like maybe Drew will make that start. Scherzer said he felt better yesterday
than today. Oh,
no, we
felt
didn't
better yesterday.
Yeah, he felt better yesterday, so the progression I think is getting there, but whether or not he'll feel good enough to start. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Okay, Albuquerque now has struck out 3 in a row, 4 for the game.
Well, after he missed that fastball at 94 in the very first pitch of this pitch sequence, and you know it was going to be very difficult for him to hit that slider. Had a really good grip of how he grips that slider. Albuquerque, one of the few pitchers that throws a slider, but it's almost like a split finger grip. And the index finger and the middle finger are not together like most guys throw their slider.
Smith, the batter, he homered back in the 5th.
Talking to Jeff Jones about how Albuquerque held that slider last year, and he said he's the only guy that I've ever had that holds his slider this way.
Wonder who taught him that.
He's a genius, whoever did it.
2 balls, no strikes. Albuquerque came on, got the final out of the 6th, the 1-2-3 7th.
Here's that grip I'm talking about. Albuquerque slider. Most guys have those fingers touching together, the index finger and the middle finger. But he has his split. It's almost like a changeup grip.
Three and one. Smith rifles one to center field. Jackson plays it on a hop. 2-out single for Seth Smith. That's his 2nd hit today.
You know, I was talking to Max in the clubhouse before the game today, and did you know that he said that he hurt his shoulder on the 5th pitch of the game when he threw that changeup to strike out Coco Crisp? He says it wasn't a sharp pain, but he knew something was wrong. Of course, he still went out there and threw a total of, I think, 37 pitches after that. But as you said, he's starting to feel a little bit better. He's taking some medicine and hoping to calm it down so he could possibly make his next start.
Here's Donaldson. Well, yeah, he was telling me that yesterday, and it was surprising that he was able to go out there for another full inning after that.
Right after this pitch, he said that's when he felt it, and you could tell right there. Something wasn't quite right. 5th pitch of the game.
That's pulled to third. Nice play by Cabby off to his left, and he'll get the force.
Pick it, maybe.
And that is it for the A's. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On our way to the bottom of the 8th. Presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Tomorrow, the Minnesota Twins are coming to town. Samuel Deduno, who's been a little bit of a good surprise for them. Rick Porcello again, Rod, looking for that 10th win of the year.
And Deduno's got an outstanding breaking ball. The Tigers saw that firsthand at a start he made against them in Minnesota. But he's erratic in that strike zone. 48 walks, 54 strikeouts for Deduno.
So the A's leading this one by 2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And we've got a new pitcher now. That would be Sean Doolittle.
36 game that Doolittle has been in, 3.35 ERA. But look at the strikeouts that he's racked up. 51 of those. And he's only walked 8 in 37 and 2/3 innings.
And he will face Johnny Peralta, who leads it off.
94 with that first fastball from Doolittle right over the top.
Johnny 1 for 3 in the ball game. Garcia, Dirks to follow. That is popped up. First base side. Barton is the new first baseman. He'll haul it in. Derek Barton for Chris Carter now, and Doolittle gets the first man he faces. Garcia with a single in the second, single in the fourth, and he looks at strike 1 right at the knees. Bouncing ball foul, first base side. No balls, 2 strikes. Doolittle was a position player his first 4 years in the minor leagues. As Gotel warms up in the Detroit bullpen.
Couldn't hit that slider.
Apparently not. Actually had some decent numbers. 272 hitter in the minor league.
That's not bad at all.
18 home runs 1 year. Here's the 1-2. Fouled away again by Garcia. bullpens have calmed this game down. Albuquerque's been great for the Tigers. Leave Cook and now Doolittle. Dirks waiting on deck. Way high. And as Garcia laid off, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And again, fouled back out of play. Garcia trying to get something started here. Tigers have 10 hits. And he swings and misses. Ate him up with that pitch. It's his first strikeout. And his rise to the major leagues as a pitcher has been a quick one.
16 combined games this year between A-ball, AA, and AAA, and then to the movies.
Here is Dirks, who drew the Tigers a little bit closer back in the 6th inning with a leadoff home run against Blevins. He rolls that one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1. Ooh, we try to hold up. Dirks unable to stop his bat, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Doolittle out of the University of Virginia. Brings home the 1-2, and he missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And being told that Doolittle had a chronic knee issue, which forced him into becoming a pitcher. He would have been successful either way.
Somebody text you that?
Yeah.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Man, oh man. 96 up the letters, and Dirks went fishing. .64 in favor of the Athletics. The Tigers about hit him today, 10-8, but they're going to need a comeback in the bottom of the 9th. The mission, though, is to keep this a 2-run game. And Octavio Dotel coming out of the bullpen now.
Dotel's had a real nice year in his first year in a Tigers uniform. 53 games already pitched for Dotel. 5 wins, 3 losses, 62 strikeouts in 54 in a third innings logged. He's got that fastball anywhere from 92 to 95 that hitters just don't get a real good look at it, and they just seem to swing right through it.
Well, Jim Leyland was saying after the game last night that Dotel was critical in the Tigers win, taking over after Verlander came out of the game. 1 inning, struck out 2, and threw just 14 pitches. Here's George Gutierrez, who sends one right back up the middle into center field, a leadoff single.
Well, you know you're going to get a fastball from Dotel, and that's exactly what Gutierrez got there. And while we have a moment, let me remind you that you can follow your Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for details.
Here is Pennington. And he sends a ground ball, base hit into right field. That'll put 2 aboard with nobody out. Gutierrez and Pennington both single.
Dotel in last night's game, of the 14 pitches that he threw to the Oakland Athletics, 12 were strikes. Don't think for one moment they don't know that he's going to be around the plate. The first 2 hitters have swung at the first pitch, and both have singled.
And so now each team with 10 hits. It's going to bring up Stephen Drew, who today is 0 for 4. We'll see if he's considering a bunt. Prince and Miggy tied at the corners, and he is showing bunt. Ball 1.
And Drew does not have a sacrifice since putting on an Oakland Athletics uniform. But if you're Bob Melvin, you know that you have to extend your lead, because there's a chance that you might see Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder again, and you want to have as many runs as you possibly can.
Way outside, 2 balls, no strikes. The Tigers in the bottom of the 9th will need a base runner to get Cabrera up there. Here's the 2-0. No sign of bunt there, and he takes a strike. 2-1. He's back to showing bunt, and he takes it low. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Dotel, after giving up back-to-back hits, has fallen behind Drew, and you've got Reddick waiting. Then it would be Cespedes. Ground ball right side. Prince has it. Thought about it, but instead will take the out at first. Think he had a chance there?
I don't know. I'd have to take a peek at the replay and see where the base runner was when that ball went to Dr. Prince's glove. Yeah, he definitely has a chance to get the base runner at second, but I don't know if he didn't get the ball out of his glove cleanly or what, but there's a chance to get a force play at second.
So Reddick will be walked intentionally with first base open. He's going to load him up for Cespedes with 1 out. 6-4 right now. The Athletics have the lead. 2-0 Reddick. Single and 4 at bats in this one. Boy, Dotel is not letting it go, and he's given Laird making his work cut out for him. He had to go down to get that one to his knees.
It was almost close enough for Reddick to take a swing at.
Here's ball 4. So that will load him up, and it's going to bring up Cespedes. Athletics looking for some tack-on runs here. They've loaded the bases.
Cespedes has not grounded into that many double plays this year. He's only grounded into 8.
Four hits in the series, all singles, though. And there's ball 1.
He has taken the first pitch every single at bat today. And that was after free swinging the first couple of days of the series.
Strike call right at the knees, 1-1.
And we pointed out the last time Cespedes was up, if you want to get him out, that's where you have to pitch him. He loves to pull the baseball. Very aggressive, takes huge swings.
There's one of those huge swings, and it's 1-2.
We've seen this swing quite often today. If you're Dotel, you don't have to throw a strike here. Stay off that outside corner. See if you can get him to chase something.
Two and two the count. Where was that?
Looked like it was too close to take.
Maybe a smidge low, but on the border, according to Mr. Foxtracks. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Yoenis Cespedes. High fly ball center field. Jackson backing up. This will get a run in. Gutierrez tags. He will come around to score, and all 3 runners will move up. Cespedes gets a big RBI. And that extends the lead now to 7-4.
And it gives Cespedes a lot of credit. And because it was looking like Dotel was going to strike him out, he got ahead of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and then Cespedes finally got something up in the zone. And he didn't try to pull it. He simply went right back up the gut, hit it deep enough to center field to drive in the run.
So again, with first base open, they're going to walk the lefty Brandon Moss. That'll reload the bases. The second intentional walk in this inning.
The 3rd free pass that Jim Leland has given away today.
Yeah, Smith had the other one back in the 6th. Here comes ball 3 from Dotel. Smiley and Pekonen. There's ball 4. So that is going to bring up Barton. His first at bat after taking over for Carter as the defensive replacement. And Jim Leland comes marching out. And he's going to take the baseball now from Dotel and probably bring in Smiley here to face the lefty Barton. So Tavio will walk off. Smiley will come in.
Well, fans, you know the drill by now. As soon as this game ends, our coverage does not stop. It will continue with Tigers Live. You will hear from the manager, Jim Leland, plus we'll break down the game and show you all the highlights from the Call Sam studios.
How about some news around Major League Baseball as we check out the news and notes? Smiley comes trotting into this one. And the Orioles continue to be a terrific story. 15 extra inning wins And it's really been kind of remarkable. And here's one guy that's gotten lost, I think, in some of the MVP talk. It's Derek Jeter.
Absolutely. Yeah, that kid Chris Medlin's also done a very nice job in Atlanta. Boy, has he done a nice job. He's in the Cy Young conversation.
Well, those Orioles and the Yankees continue to jockey back and forth. The Yankees won a doubleheader last night, so they remain a half game ahead of the Orioles.
You saw that a note on Derek Jeter, the first player at his age to get over 200 hits since Paul Molitor did it. And Derek Jeter will have one of those plaques waiting on him in Cooperstown as well, just as Molitor does.
So Derek Barton due up, and he's going to have to face the lefty Drew Smyly.
Smyly started the season in the rotation. He's got a really good arm. Good fastball, gets up to 94. Has a nice little slider, changeup. As a matter of fact, we've been talking the last couple of days that when the Oakland Athletics traded Gio Gonzalez to the Washington Nationals, the Tigers were also in the conversation as far as acquiring Gio Gonzalez. It's been known for years the Tigers have wanted a left-handed starter, and Gio Gonzalez is a very good starter, but the Oakland Athletics were asking for Jacob Turner and Drew Smyly in return. And of course, at that time, the Tigers weren't willing to part with either player.
Well, Smyly eventually then won the 5th spot in the rotation out of the bullpen and showed a lot of promise in the starting rotation earlier this year. His job right now is to keep the bases loaded and face Derek Barton with a run in. Lefty facing the lefty here in the 9th inning. And Barton takes ball 1 outside. First at bat for Barton in this game. Batting an even 200 for the year. Ball 2. Last time the Tigers issued 3 or more intentional walks was back in 2009. They've issued 3 in this game, 2 in this inning. The 2-0. A strike called on the outer edge, 2-1. Tigers in the 9th inning. We'll have Laird, Jackson, and Fonte due up. Here's the 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike and no room. Inning started with base hits by Kataris and Pennington. Sac fly by Cespedes has scored a run to make it 7-4. Here's the 3-1. Way high, ball 4. That's going to force in a run. Barton gets a bases loaded walk, and Pennington comes around to score. Now it's a 4-run game. A 2-run 9th inning, 8-4 A's. That'll bring up Seth Smith. Ball 1. So Smyly now has thrown 6 pitches since coming on, and 5 of them have missed the strike zone. There's another one that missed. And now it's 2-0. And not only does Laird go out to the mound, but here comes Jeff Jones as well. And Smyly having trouble locating the strike zone, which is not good with the bases loaded. Big inning today for the Athletics, a 4-run sixth after the Tigers early on had a 2-0 lead. They were cruising behind Sanchez. But the A's offense that had been struggling most of this series has come alive today with 8 runs on 10 hits. Here's the 2-0. Low, 3 balls and no strikes. And a strike call. 3-1. Desperately needed that. The crowd comes to life. Smith has homered in this game. He's waiting on a 3-1, and he takes strike call. 3-2. And made Smiley throw two of them over the plate, and he was able to. 8th man at bat in this inning. Donaldson waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 coming. And it's drilled down the right field line. Fair ball. It'll go to the corner. This might clean the bases. 2 runs are in. And now Barton will come around to score. It's a 3-run double. And the Athletics have busted this one wide open. It's 11-4. That's going to be it for Smiley.
And Smith got a real good look at about 4 fastballs in that pitch sequence from Smiley. Went down to the bottom of the zone in a 3-2 offering, and he found some fairway down that right field line.
So Smiley faces 2 batters, gives up a base-loaded walk and a base-loaded double, and Jim Leland is forced to take him out. We will step aside. Pitching change. 11-4 A's. Favor of the Athletics, and the Tigers go back to the bullpen. Smiley facing 2 hitters, and he'll give way to Luke Peconin.
The Tigers have had one of the best bullpens in all of baseball the second half of the season, but it has struggled a little bit here today.
The Athletics bat around here in the 9th inning, and Josh Donaldson will step in. A 5-run 9th for the Athletics. Donaldson takes ball 1 inside. So they've had a 4-run inning today and a 5-run inning. And we're out to an 11-4 lead. They've out-hit the Tigers 11-10. Here's the 1-0 to Donaldson. That's in there, a strike. 1-1. Minnesota Twins, the next opponent over the weekend, and then the Royals come a-calling for 4.
And Tigers' first couple of games of the series able to slow down the offensive bats of the Oakland Athletics.
That looks like trouble.
Not today.
Another run in. It'll be a 2-base hit for Donaldson, and now a 12-4 ball game. That's their 12th hit of the game. Donaldson gets an RBI.
Oakland has now scored 317 runs since the All-Star break, which is 3rd in the American League. So they had been scoring some runs before coming to Comerica Park a couple of days ago.
Here's Kataris, who started this inning with a base hit and sends a ground ball to the right side, gobbled up there by Prince. Pekonen covers to finally end the inning. But we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's now 12-4. Comerica Bank, strength and stability since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. Like us on Facebook. Enter the contest for a chance to win great prizes. Well, there's your score. A 6-run 9th inning busting this one open. It's now 12-4 in favor of the Athletics. Final game in this series, and so as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's Evan Scribner. It'll be Gerald Laird to start things off against Scribner. I know one thing, the Athletics bullpen today was really good. It started with Cook. He came on in the 6th after Blevins, and then Doolittle, a 1-2-3-8. And turn things over now to Scribner. 9 straight retired by the A's pen in this one. Gerald Laird, a single in 3 at-bats, and he pops up the first pitch. Behind the plate, is there room? There is not. Back out of play. Strike called on Laird, 0-2. Whistled foul, back out of play. Righty's batting just a $190 against Scribner, coming into play today. Made his major league debut last year over in the National League with the Padres. Bounces that one in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Laird is out of there, and that's 10 in a row retired by the Oakland Pen.
Don't forget, you can join us again tomorrow for more baseball when the Tigers host the Minnesota Twins. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. That's Tigers Baseball. Tomorrow at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Ball 1 to Austin Jackson, who has an RBI in this game. Jackson had the RBI and a sac fly back in the second. 10 hits for Detroit today, but only 4 runs. And that's fouled back out of play. This A's bullpen now has struck out 5 of the last 7 Tigers batters it has faced.
And a big difference for the Oakland Athletics when they're able to get to the back end of that bullpen versus the middle relief where the Tigers have been able to get to the first couple of games of the series.
No doubt. Cook was really impressive today. So was Doolittle.
Cook's stuff was 97 with movement.
We didn't see Balfour, the closer, because the A's added 6 in the top of the 9th inning.
Doolittle was throwing 95 from the left side.
One ball, 2 strikes. We saw how important, especially in the postseason, the bullpens can be. Texas last year in the ALCS against the Tigers got really good bullpen work. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball, second base. And it'll be a routine play for Pennington.
Bob Melvin would not say before the game whether this was a must win for his club, but he had to be thinking that way. They are on the start of a very tough, grueling road trip, which will take them from here today into New York, and then when they leave the Yankees, they've got to go into Texas.
If there's any doubt, it was definitely a must-win for them today, especially losing Brett Anderson in last night's game. Boy, they relied on young pitching, especially in their rotation.
And Bob Melvin said that more than likely they're not going to have Brett Anderson for his next start. But they've gotten it done all season under their manager, Bob Melvin. That's why he's in the manager of the year conversation.
3 balls, no strikes on Infante with 2 outs here in the 9th. Not only do they have New York and Texas on this road trip, but they close the year at home against Texas as well. That's in for a strike. 3-1. Cabrera on deck. Driven to left field. Ball is hit well, and that one is off the wall. And Omar got himself a 3-1 pitch and hammered it to left. His second double of the game. Eleven straight had been retired by the Oakland bullpen before that double. Here's Cabrera. Miguel today with 1 hit. He's also walked 1 for 3. And he skies one in the air, right center field. Reddick on the run to end the ball game, and the Tigers will not get the sweep.
And they're going to need some help this evening from the Kansas City Royals, who are still hosting the Chicago White Sox if they want to keep that lead at 2. It's 2.5 right now, the lead for the White Sox.
So the A's score a bunch of runs late, and they run away with this one. We'll be back.